Thank you for the opportunity, Senator. You just returned from a trip to Pakistan and Afghanistan. Your trip to Pakistan comes amid tension in relations between the United States and Pakistan over Washington's claim that Pakistan is not doing or is not willing to eradicate the terror groups. You went to North Waziristan. Are you convinced that Pakistan is doing everything that it is in its capacity to eradicate the terror groups?
I think it's very obvious that the Haqqani network is still operating and operating with great effect, causing great problems within Afghanistan. But I must say also there was significant success in Waziristan. There was some 6,000 Pakistani soldiers killed and some 16,000 wounded, and that I think was a very important step forward. But the Haqqani network issue and the relationship between the Haqqani network and ISI still exists. But I do believe that the Pakistani military leadership is interested in making progress in that direction. Now, whether they actually will or not, we will see. But it is in Afghanistan's interest to see progress and a better relationship with Pakistan, particularly the United States' interest, because we all know that Pakistan has an inventory of nuclear weapons, which if they fell into the wrong hands, could destabilize the entire region.
Sartaj Aziz, the advisor for Pakistan Prime Minister, admits that Taliban leaders live in Pakistan.
We all know that. Everybody knows that there are Taliban and Haqqani network people in Pakistan. Mm-hmm. We also should know that by cleaning out North Waziristan at great loss of Pakistani soldiers' lives and thousands wounded, that there was success in that effort, which was really of great significance.
Just recently, Taliban's leader was killed in Pakistan.
Pakistan leader was killed with our drones, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was. Yeah. No one denies. I've been the first to criticize Pakistan for being a haven for certain elements, including the Haqqani network. Right. There is no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm. The question is, sir, that recently, as you're aware, that Taliban, during Taliban's suicide attacks, 30 cadets, police cadets of Afghanistan were killed. This is a question from our viewers, that they're saying that why United States is not taking drastic action to put pressure on Pakistan to fight against terrorists or terror groups.
Well, first of all, I don't know what drastic action they want us to contemplate. Pakistan is a sovereign nation. We have reduced the funding for economic development, mm-hmm. which was an action by Congress saying that the president had to certify that progress is being made against the Haqqani network. That mm-hmm. action has been taken. And the F-16 funding was held back as well. Let's not forget that Pakistan has a sizable inventory of nuclear weapons, which if fallen in the wrong hands, could obviously cause tremendous problems throughout the world. The Pakistanis are, I believe, are inclined, and the proof is in the pudding, are inclined to make some progress in the areas that we are asking them to. They feel isolated with the popularity of Prime Minister Modi, with the actions on the F-16, on cuts in economic assistance, and other areas. Mm-hmm. I made it clear in my conversations with the Pakistani leadership, both military and civilian, that we expect to see progress against these terrorist groups. Mm-hmm. We also, I believe, that a dialogue between the two countries, the leaders of the two countries, is entirely appropriate to try to work out some of the differences that exist between the two countries. and progress against terrorist organizations is a requirement.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned isolation. Is Pakistan isolated? This is the buzzword that's saying that the world, particularly the United States, has isolated Pakistan. If yes, why? If not, then how will Pakistan respond to or satisfy Afghanistan?
Well, I think that, I don't know if the word is isolated, but I'm sure that the Pakistanis have felt the effects of the F-16 cuts in economic assistance and the rise of Prime Minister Modi as a significant world figure in India. But it's not in America's interest to have Pakistan as an enemy. The Chinese are playing a major role in Pakistan. The Chinese supposedly have offered Pakistan some $47 billion in development money. Now, whether that is actually true or not, I don't know. But don't think that all of this is happening in a total isolation. Our job should be elimination or efforts to eliminate terrorist organizations, especially the Haqqani network, but it's also to have a partner for Afghanistan and Pakistan and the United States of America. I cannot emphasize the importance of the nuclear weapons that, if in the wrong hands, would be a disaster.
A question, sir, that former Ambassador Zalmay Khalilzad, who is going to be appearing in today's hearing, he says that if the United States wants to defeat insurgency around the world, it should fight its roots in Pakistan. Do you think this sense of this, Pakistan's anti-Pakistan sentiment is growing because of Pakistan's foreign policy, is growing in the Congress?
I think we all know that the Haqqani network and other terrorist organizations have been operating in Pakistan. We should also know that the Pakistanis, at loss of some 6,000 brave young Pakistanis, cleaned out the terrorist organizations in Waziristan. They are seeking dialogue and discussion with the Afghan government and others.
Okay.
And so I'm saying, tell them what we need them to do, and if they achieve some of those goals, then we should have further dialogue and discussion. You cannot isolate them. There's other countries in the world, such as China, who will come and help them if they become totally estranged from Western nations.
Right. Senator, Durand Line has been an issue of conflict between the two countries. During your trip in Pakistan, Pakistani media published articles saying that you support Pakistan's stance on this issue. Do you confirm this?
No. I believe that it's a long-standing issue of many, many years and probably should be submitted to international arbitration. But no, I do not.
Is that
I believe that it should be settled between discussions and negotiations between the two countries and/or submission to some kind of arbitration. I want to repeat to you, Afghanistan has not had a better friend than John McCain. John McCain has fought for the freedom. I've just came back from spending 4th of July with our Afghan friends and our men and women who are serving. But I know what's in the best interest of Afghanistan, Pakistan, and the United States of America. And that is action by Pakistan against the Haqqani network. But it is also a dialogue and reciprocation, not only if Pakistan acts, reciprocation on the part of Afghanistan in order to resolve the issue of the terrorist organizations that are finding safe haven in Pakistan. There are many reasons why Pakistan and Afghanistan should find common ground and common issues with which to cooperate. Those attempts have been made in the past. Those attempts have failed. But it is not a reason for not continuing the effort.
Right. Are you concerned, sir, that since what President Ashraf Ghani in his speech in Warsaw condemned Pakistan or criticized Pakistan. And when he returns to Afghanistan, also in a press conference, he criticized Pakistan. Pakistan strongly rejected that or said that, you know, whatever his comment was. Are you concerned? This tension is growing between the two countries. Are you concerned that this is going to turn to something bigger than just a verbal dispute?
I'm very concerned about relations between the two countries. But the Afghan government, as well as the Pakistani government, as well as the American government, should understand the fundamental of warfare. Mm-hmm. And that is, when the enemy has a sanctuary, as in the case of some of these organizations in Pakistan, you're not going to win. Mm-hmm. You're not going to win the conflict. So I am encouraging dialogue, discussion, not public condemnation of each other. Everybody knows what the situation is. Mm-hmm. I believe that it is important for Pakistan to show progress. I believe they should be given an opportunity to do so, rather than outright condemnation.
For how long?
For how long?
But yes.
Well, do you want them to have a sanctuary forever? Do you want them to have a sanctuary forever? You want to just stop the dialogue? Okay, we'll have the Haqqani network have a sanctuary forever. Pakistan will have a large nuclear inventory. China will now assert greater and greater influence in Pakistan. Is that what you want? Fine. It's not what I want.
How do you assess Donald Trump's foreign policy on Afghanistan and U.S. mission to fight ISIS?
I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
Your message for Afghan people?
My message for the Afghan people is that the reality is that we should do what we can to improve relations between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. That means that Pakistan has to take efforts and move towards removing these influences and organizations that are operating out of Pakistan into Afghanistan. But it does not mean just rejecting out of hand entirely anything that Pakistan does. Mm-hmm. The way you solve problems between nations is, one, nations to take steps to resolve the issue, mm-hmm. i.e. the Haqqani network has to be brought under control, but at the same time there has to be dialogue and discussion. It's not helping anybody to use public forums to condemn another country. That is, unless you don't want to have a dialogue and discussion. President Ghani has tried in the past. We know that when he first became president, it failed. And I don't expect him to try that again. Mm-hmm. But I also don't expect the Afghan government to reject out of hand any discussion of any kind with Pakistan. Mm-hmm. And they do have the right to expect progress against these terrorist networks.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Right.
I appreciate it.